I am a naturally low-energy person who in my younger years used opiates and downers as my drugs of choice, but since meeting my wife, who is a very active person, I have been much more into uppers like cocaine and MDMA. I was interested in trying to find something cheaper that I could use as a pick-me-up. It was with this mindset that I looked into OTC stimulants and stumbled upon Benzedrex. What follows is my first experience. Keep in mind that I have no experience with amphetamines, and typically, with the exception of opiates, I have a moderate drug tolerance. Start of dose. I cut up one Benzedrex cotton stick into about 10 pieces and swallowed them one at a time with Gatorade. The taste and process was far easier and less unpleasant than what I had expected from reading other people's experiences. I did this on an empty stomach, but immediately consumed a small pizza after eating the stick. 15 minutes. First effects begin to be felt. Lights appear to be brighter, and I feel mildly energized. These effects are mild enough that they may be a simple placebo effect. 30 minutes. Music is sounding really good, and I have finally stopped thinking about when/if the drug will kick in. 45 minutes. I feel really good and compelled to do something. I am at home alone waiting for my wife to get home from work, so I lay down on the couch and get on my computer and just start surfing around. I feel so compelled to do something that I decided that I would document this experience, something I have never done before. 1 hour. My wife calls and I have a rush of euphoria and really want her to get home so I can talk to her and share my experience. My mouth is a little dry and I have started to feel a mild discomfort in my stomach, though nothing so negative as to overshadow how great I feel. I have mild cotton mouth, though less severe than when I have smoked weed. 1 hour 30 minutes. I have a tendency to get paranoid when I find a drug that I really like and start to think about the high ending, and I'm really liking this, so a little of that paranoia is creeping into my mind, but I console myself with the idea that most people just really start to feel their high sometime between an hour and a half. There is a mild pleasant tingling in my head, arms, and legs, and it gets more intense and more pleasurable when I rub my head and face. I don't feel jittery, and my heart, which normally pounds on ephedra, feels normal. I do have mild discomfort in my neck and lower back, which I believe is a combination of the way I am sitting/typing as well as them being a little tense from the drug. Despite this, all I want is to either have my wife come home so I can talk to her or keep writing, even though I have very little new to say. 2 hours. I feel like I have reached a plateau and am feeling a strong desire to take another cotton stick. I still feel really good, but am a little restless from both a mental and physical standpoint. I have had little negative side effects. 2 hour 30 minutes. Despite feeling great, I have given in to my compulsion to push the envelope and find out if this feeling is just a threshold or the full effect of the drug. I took a second stick using the same oral administration, though this time I took less time to cut it into small pieces. This made it considerably more unpleasant to take, and I advise anyone doing this to take the extra time and save yourself the horrible taste and the possibility of the cotton getting stuck in your throat. 3 hours. I am noticing a mild but noticeable stiffness in my neck and my elbow joints. 4 hours. Feeling the full effects of the second dose. Similar in almost every way as the first, only more pronounced. Stiffness in arm joints has diminished, though neck stiffness persists. I am feeling a really strong desire to get out of my house and be in a more stimulating environment. Music is almost a need, and when there is none present, my mind tends to race and feels cluttered and without direction. 5 hours 30 minutes. About an hour after taking each dose, I feel the peak, which lasts for about an hour before settling into a highly stimulated but not nearly as euphoric state. I am surprised at my desire to continue taking more of the drug in relatively short periods of time, about every 2.5 hours. This is concerning from a crash and abuse perspective. It's 11:30 p.m. on a Tuesday. My wife has to get up early tomorrow, so is getting ready to go to bed. There is nothing to do, and I still have an incredibly strong desire to take more. In my previous use of cocaine and MDMA, I have not wanted to do the drugs if there was nothing else going on. But with this, I almost feel as though taking the drug in and of itself will create something to happen. 7 hours 30 minutes. I am definitely starting to come down. I have a distinct feeling of anxiety and am starting to sweat. I have a mild headache and feel very fatigued. I want to do more to maintain my high but have decided to stop for the evening. Some final notes. My personal experience with this drug was extremely positive. The come down was not nearly as bad as I had feared, and as soon as I had committed to ending my evening, the strong desire to do more faded. I was never truly able to get to sleep that evening, but the following day hangover was mild. It consisted of moderate fatigue, mild depression, and a mild headache. All of these things were less severe than an hangover or even a night of heavy drinking. Personally, I would rate my individual experience as an 8.5 out of 10, better than the crummy cocaine I can get around where I live, but not as good as a really good high.